Again. Hi and welcome to This is Ibrox, something a bit different. The second car pod that I've ever done. I'm joined by Tommy McIntyre. How are you today, Tommy?
I'm the driver. There we go. Happy days.
And Craig Dennett, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. It was good to see a Rangers win at Hampden, a pretty comfortable one at that.
Yeah, certainly. Craig, let's just get straight into it. That first half was pretty terrible. What did you make of it?
Yeah, it was a hard watch. I think that's a fair description. We've got fireworks going off in the back.
I was going to say, here's the banging.
Plenty of fans got to celebrating here. No, it was a tough watch in the first half. I thought we had a lot of possession without doing very much with it. We were kind of getting to grips with Hearts' long throw-ins, which was kind of the only attacking threat that they had. They were very good at stealing yards as well to get as close to the box as they could. I think their left back stole about 20 yards before he took the throw-in, which was interesting. But we maybe had a 5-minute spell where Sima had that header, and then Cantwell had the header as well. But we didn't really trouble the keeper too much. I thought we were flinging in too many cross balls from deep again. We kind of got into that habit, and they always went to the back post where no one was. You'd think someone would kind of cotton on to the fact that that's where the ball was going all the time, but didn't quite happen. And we thought we were doing better through the middle as well. So when we were actually taking the ball inside and some neat passing around the edge of the box, that was when we were getting through. And I actually thought we looked more cohesive as a unit. I know Kyle, you said that you didn't actually think that. I think we're getting better at understanding the passing and moving and where people are supposed to be. So I think that's getting better. But all in all, it was a tough first half to watch, and being honest, I wasn't entirely sure where the goal was coming from, if we were going to get one.
Yeah, Tommy, for me, my frustrations in that first half were we reverted to type a bit, and the ball just kept going down the wings, and we were just launching it in the box to Hearts' 6-foot defenders every time. It just didn't seem to be working. Is that what you think the sort of major issue with the first half was before we come on to the second half, or did you see other areas that we should have improved on?
No, I thought that in tempo. I thought we were getting a little bit bogged down, and there were the odd square pass and backward pass as well. I mean, I think Philippe Clement was going absolutely mental at Sam Lammers at one point as well. I'm sure we'll come back to Sam Lammers, but yeah, I thought it was that, and then evidently there was a little bit more of a bit of chat from Philippe Clement evidently at half time of get up the pitch, start to pass it quicker, get more intrusive in terms of the space down the sides as well, and then yeah, we saw a different Rangers in the second half.
Yeah, Tommy, I'll stick with you. Round about us, Craig, I suppose that was the question everybody's asking. What subs does he make? And I said Scott Wright and got slaughtered for it, but Scott Ballon d'Or Wright came on in that second half, Tommy, and I thought we were crying out for some width. Cantwell, brilliant player. Again, not sure we could get into it. I'd rather Cantwell was in the position that Lammers was occupying, and we had some natural width. Maybe we'll look at for that in January, but Scott Wright for me made an impact in that game. Were you happy with that sub at half time?
I'm generally never happy when I see Scott Wright coming on. I'm not going to be a hypocrite, but yeah, absolutely, he had a great impact. Took his goal really well too, and was direct and made the Hearts defenders take a step back and had given something to think about that Cantwell wasn't quite doing in that first half as well. So yeah, listen, kudos to him. Came on, made an impact. If that's the Scott Wright that we continually start to see, then even I will have to flex my opinion slightly.
I think the penalty though helped massively so early on, because then Hearts had to open up. If it's a league game, they probably still sit deep until the last 15 minutes. They keep it 1-0 to the last 15 minutes and have a bit of a go. In a cup game, they can't really afford to do that. They had to kind of open up, and that's probably where Scott Wright is able to excel a wee bit in terms of, because I think when Scott Wright's got the ball at his feet, he's really good at running it directly at people and taking people on. But I think when if he gets bogged down, or if actually, to be fair, when it comes to the final decision, tends to be when Scott Wright falls down. So when the fact that Hampden's feels like a bigger pitch. It feels like a bigger pitch. I'm not entirely sure it is, but it feels like a bigger pitch, and there does seem to be more space. And I think that's where Scott Wright was able to get in about the spaces in between the lines, and he was able to move wide. And we saw, we'll come on to his goal, Kyle, I guess, but his goal just now, his goal straight after the first one was just typical of where you want him to be, but it shows the benefits of the width that we had as well. No, I was just going to add there is I agree with everything you're saying. A shout out for it's weird. That's where the fireworks were going off. It's a once in a lifetime thing, but just a shout out for the direct running as well, Sima.
Yeah,
who I thought was absolutely fantastic today as well. But yeah, that direct style of running and that kind of surface is the right way to go about it, and ultimately took them apart.
Yeah, Craig, I'll take it back a wee bit there. Penalty for you? Do you think that was a definite penalty?
From where we were, yes, absolutely. He managed to get the ball. I think he actually even managed to keep the ball in play somehow from the tight angle that it was. But we also thought it looked like Danilo was going down before the contact came. But by all accounts, from what we've heard from people watching at home, it was a stonewall penalty, right decision, and I don't know, we might have struggled to break the deadlock soon had that not happened. I think that definitely benefited us, which will start all the conspiracy theories again and stuff like that, but it definitely benefited us, as I said, with Hearts having to open up after that. But goalkeeper didn't move at the penalty. He obviously was waiting for James Tavernier to go straight down the middle like he did last week. I mean, that's 3 penalties in a week against the same goalkeeper. That's mentally, that's quite tough. It's quite a tough thing to do, but he stuck it away with aplomb, and Rangers were 1-0 up, which was a delight to see. Yeah,
Tommy, and what did you think of the captain's performance today? That's him. I think I saw a stat just before we jumped into the car that since Beale's left, that's him scored 6 goals, 1 assist.
Yeah,
he's been fantastic since Beale left, and it was another captain's performance today.
111 goals, I think, is the shout. Yeah, listen, it's the James Tavernier conundrum. I'm not going to go down the track of everything that everybody says, but once again, he steps up, takes the penalty, as you say, same goalkeeper again, puts it away, free kick, he knows exactly what he's doing. The technique is absolutely fantastic.
Free kick was incredible, even the build up to it, where he was positioning Sima and Goldson exactly where he wanted them.
Put them right where he wanted, and then I think it's Goldson that maybe Sima actually ducks. Just it goes over the top of him as well. But listen, James Tavernier, you want somebody leading from the front. He's done it again. He's taken the big penalty and then smashed home a free kick as well. Fantastic. I thought he was good actually. Shout out for Ryan Jack, who I thought was particularly good as well today.
I thought, Kyle, sorry, just coming on to that, and realise you don't have an agenda for me to pull up, so that's always helpful. But I thought Tommy's giving a shout out to Ryan Jack here. I thought Leon Balogun was really positive as well. Clearly lacking a wee bit of pace. He got that injury as well in the first half, which I don't know how much impacted him, but when he's beside Goldson, I think it's the most confident and comfortable our defence actually look, which is interesting because it's not one that I saw. But we were at the press conference for, was it, I can't remember if it was Hearts or the Hibs game, and Fluke once says, I think it was about Ross McCausland, they say, I don't care if you're 17 or 37, if you're doing a job and you're playing well, then I'm going to play you, and that's. You might see, it's a shame Liam Balogun got injured, but he played well against Dundee the other night. He obviously had his rampage and Majid Bagheera run. He tried a couple of times today as well actually, which was interesting. I wonder if that's something we'll see a bit more in terms of the central defenders. If the other opposition team steps off them, then they just keep going and keep going and keep going with the ball to try and draw some of them out. So that'll be interesting. But I did think Leon Balogun was particularly good again today.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, you've picked out a few players there, but Tommy, I want to talk about the balance in the team today, and players just playing in their natural positions. Like, I want to say the balance down that right hand side when Scott Wright came on, I thought was right. Goldson, Balogun. I thought Jack and Lundstrom, a pair that I never thought would be able to play midfield with each other. Their balance is quite right as well, and Sima Barisic to an extent. Maybe I'm still in favour of Ridvan playing that left hand side, but I can understand why he was out the squad today. What did you think of the balance in the squad today, particularly in that second half?
Do you want me to say it was balanced? This podcast is brought to you by the word balance. No, listen, you're spot on.
Circle of balance.
Circle of balance. No, I think you're spot on. Maybe the only imbalance, or the kind of chink in the armour, so to speak, was Sam Lammers. It just didn't quite work with him. And when you saw Tom Lawrence,
how often does it work?
Well, exactly, it never really works. You know what I mean? You're hoping you get a bit of confidence for the Dundee goal, but it doesn't seem there.
Do you think the Tom Lawrence substitution is a sign of actually when Tom Lawrence is fit, he'll be the one that comes in and Lammers potentially drops out of the team?
I reckon that absolutely the case. I mean, Lawrence, even in his wee cameo, you saw that he was more direct. He was in the box. He was dangerous. And you think, and he's winning the ball, in the midfield as well, and you think, that's exactly what I want, and he's still got a bit of creativity. It's hard to see how Sam Lammers would keep him out of the team. I mean, either of you disagree? I wouldn't imagine
No,
so.
not when it comes in.
And again, I must have said the right thing because there's more there's more fireworks going off. So that's maybe Sam Lammer sending me a message. But I think Tom Lawrence definitely goes back in, and I'd be really keen to see that.
Yeah, and look, before we wrap up, I'll just trouble you both for a man of the match. I'll start with you, please, Craig.
Definitely James Tavernier. But before we do, Tommy, you managed to hear a bit of Philippe Clement's post-match press conference, or at least the interviews. He said he spoke about a few of the players doing well that surprised you. Can you elaborate on that?
That's incredibly formal. But yeah, Craig, but yeah, okay, I'll elaborate for everybody. Okay, there's a gun back there somewhere. But yeah, so what surprised me is you know why he's doing it, right? He's not going to hang his players out to dry or anything like that. But he was saying, you know, Sam Lammers had a good game, etc. It's just hard to see how that could possibly be true. I mean, again, I don't want to attack one player, but he doesn't seem to do the basics, and he isn't a danger round about the box, and it's all very static and lethargic. We just touched on Tom Lawrence. Lawrence gets fit, he goes straight in there, and Lammers comes out. It's really that simple. Other than that, you know, from what I heard, Clement was his usual self, which is, right, it's one more game at a time. Cup final's not about me. It's not about me turning up at Hampden for the first time for a final. It's just getting the job done, which is what you're pleasing to. Yeah, I think everybody's a Philippe Clement fan. Yeah,
and I do feel like we are getting the job done now. I feel like JB, one of our contributors, said in the chat that he feels like this is a Rangers team now he can relate to, which is so far away from where we were 4 weeks ago.
Aye, that's true.
And for it to be the same players, and it shows all it takes is a change in style, a change in attitude, just a Rangers team that we feel we can believe in. And actually, when I read that comment, I was like, absolutely, that's where I am now. After the game midweek, after the Hibs and Hearts wins, after even the spirit shown in the Sparta Prague game, we didn't play particularly well, but the spirit shown there. And then today, the way we put the foot on the gas and didn't take off until we were 3-0 up was particularly impressive, because that's not something we'd have done before. We go 1-0 up before and you sit back holding on to your 1-0 win. Today we killed the game in a 15-minute period, and that's definitely a Rangers team I can buy into.
Yep.
Is that you done trying to hijack this agenda then?
I mean, we can sit here for hours.
I'm just absolutely delighted that you elaborated on that.
That's that. Craig, right, I'll get your man of the match now then.
I gave it away about 5 minutes ago.
He did say Tav at the start, to be honest.
Listen, it's a late night, right? Well, before I ask you, Tommy,
it's a late night at 6 o'clock.
Exactly, that's right, exactly.
We're putting you down your bed.
Well, what I was going to say was, before I get to Tavernier, was I want to give a shout out to Jack Butland, who I thought had a couple of fantastic saves at big moments. What do you think of Butland's performance today?
He's just a proper goalkeeper. He's a class acquisition. We are lucky to have him in the team, and somebody will come calling eventually to try and get him off our hands. But right now, I just enjoy we've got a really good goalkeeper. Yeah,
and Tav man of the match?
Yeah, okay, Tav man of the match.
You don't have to agree.
Yeah?
No, I'm just thinking it's hard to look past the fact that he takes the penalty under pressure and then he smashes in the free kick as well. I was kind of tempted to say Ryan Jack. I thought it was quietly effective in the midfield, but for the sake of harmony within the car, I'm going to say Ryan Jack.
That's fair enough. I think I've been in the stadium and I've got to give it to James Tavernier. As you said, that was a pressure penalty, and that free kick was one of the
sweetest. Even defensively, he was good as well.
He had a really good game.
But listen, that just about wraps it up there, everybody. We'll be back on Wednesday with our normal 8:30 slot, so see you all then.
Which will be from a Ford Cortina.
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky, yeah.